Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today I am making a goat milk soap using farm fresh goat milk that I freeze in little discs in my freezer so that when I add the lye to it, it keeps it cool. So goat milk soap today, and it's a masculine scent that I'm using, even though I love this scent and I will use this soap. So I tend to like more musky scents. The fragrance that I'm using today is tobacco and bay leaf from Brambleberry, and this smells wonderful. It's not tobacco as in the smoke, it's more of like a tobacco leaf, so it's got a little green to it and it's a real deep scent. And I also just had a teeny bit, like maybe a half an ounce or an ounce of this Bourbon Street left over, so I went ahead and added that. So I'm combining the two to make an overall really nice, rich scent on this soap today. So I'm excited to get started. Also, if you enjoy my channel, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe, and you can get notifications when I have a new video out. Also, I'm on Instagram if you want more up-to-date soaping information of all the goodness going on. So with all that being said, let's pull everything together and make some soap. And I needed to use this goat's milk. I keep my goat milk frozen in little discs in the freezer, and I need to use up my old goat's milk because I have a very pregnant goat, and she's going to be having babies real soon, so I'll have plenty of fresh goat's milk coming, so I had to use up what I've got. And you know, the men need some tenderness on their skin too, so goat's milk is so good for your skin. So let me tell you what I've got going here. I've kind of got a jump start. I have all my oils melted and cooled off, and to the oils I've already added the fragrances, and I have kale and clay and colloidal oats in here. To my goat milk lye solution, I have tussa silk fibers and some sodium lactate, which is just the salt, a lactic acid salt that helps harden up the bars and get them out of the mold faster. So today I'm going to be using my little molds here from Essential Depot. They're fantastic, so I'm going to do my little loaf molds. I'm not doing my tall skinny. And the coloring that I'm using, because it's tobacco and bay leaf, this is the first time I'm going to use this one. It's a cappuccino mica from Brambleberry, and it's beautiful. And then I'm also using this evergreen mica. So those will be my colors. And I've dispersed them in a little bit of oil here, just so they will add in nice and smooth. Also, I forgot to mention that in my goat's milk lye solution, I did put about a teaspoon of titanium dioxide in here to lighten it up, because the goat's milk does get yellow, and these fragrances do cure out to a light tan, so I didn't want it to get too brownish color. I wanted distinction between the colors, so I added a little titanium dioxide into my lye solution just to brighten it up. So I've got this all ready to go, and these are all cooled off to the same temperature. So I will go ahead and add it in, and hopefully things won't move on too fast. I want to just hand stir and keep things at a nice workable consistency. I love working with goat's milk. It's so creamy, and the bars of soap turn out so nice, just like a really luscious lather when you use a good milk. All right, set that off to the side, and I'm just going to blend this in, make sure it gets really incorporated, the lye and the oils, before I do any splitting off. Boy, that smells great. I tend to like a more musky, woodsy scent anyway. I appreciate a good floral, and I really love citrusy scents, but I tend to migrate towards ambers, musk, sandalwood, so maybe that's why I'm digging this scent so much. I'm going to do, these will be my colors, and I'm going to pour off a little here also because I want to pour just a bottom layer of green, just to add a little dimension. I thought that would look really cute. So I'm going to go ahead, and this will be for my bottom, and I'll stick blend that and get it nice and thick. Okay, and this will be, we'll call this the brown color, and this can be the other green color, which is the same green, just split different. And then this will stay white. I think I'm going to do a little more brown. And we'll do a little more in here. There we go, kind of eyeballing it. And that's another reason why I went ahead and put my scent in already, because I just want everything evenly dispersed throughout. Now I'm gonna just pull the stick blender over here and get a little of my green color in here that I've dispersed. I just poured off a teeny bit of the liquid oils, so I'll put about half of this in for the bottom. There we go. And we'll see how that looks. I may add a little more if I need to. And I'm going to go for a nice, medium trace for the bottom layers here. Burp my stick blender. All right, I think we've got a nice light trace. I'll go ahead and pour this in the bottom of our molds here. Get my spatula ready here. All right, there we go. I just wanted a nice little bottom on these just to add some dimension and make them look interesting. All right, I think we've got the bottoms pretty even here. So we'll go ahead and get that all set, and we'll set those off to the side while we move on. We've got a couple spatulas here that are clean for the colors. All right. So I've got my big one here that I'm not going to color, and these two. So let's see. Let's go ahead and do the brown in here. That cappuccino brown is beautiful. It's like I don't know, it looks like chocolate to me. It's beautiful. It's like a coffee chocolate color. Let me just scoop some of this in there and get it all there. And now the green. I'm going to come over here with it. And again, I'm going to scoop in here and try to get it all out. I don't like to waste any. I'm going to go lightest to darkest and stick blend here. So, golly, I'm kind of crowding the frame. Alright, here's my big bucket that I didn't add anything to. It already has a little titanium dioxide, so I'm just going to blend that out. And then I think the green will be the next lightest, so we'll hop on over to here. Sorry about the cord being in the way. Alright, and now we'll come to my beautiful brown. Let's see if I can get you all in frame here. Alright, yep. I think we're going to call that done. So I'm going to go ahead and do an in-the-pot swirl. And I'll just pour from different angles around. There. And I might save just a little for the top. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do when we get to the top. I was thinking I might texture it, but maybe I'll just do swirls if I have a little extra. And since this soap is behaving itself so nicely, and then I'll do plop around the green here. There we go. And I'll save a little. Oh, I already have a green spatula. I'll save a little for the top. All right. Now I'm just going to go around once. And I'm going to come over here and check our bottom soaps and see if they're pretty firmed up. I think if I break the fall, we can go ahead and pour. there's our tobacco and bay leaf soap. We'll come back tomorrow for the cut. And we are back the next morning with our tobacco and bay leaf soap. I'm a little anxious about looking at the inside. It got very light. It almost looks like a chocolate mint, and I didn't want that. I want this to be tobacco and bay leaf. So I can't wait to get in here and see what we've got on the inside with our swirls and all that good stuff. So let's get this unmolded. And again, these molds are from Essential Depot, and they are wonderful, very sturdy. And they unmold like a dream. So you just do that, break the seal on the bottom, and it pops right out. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, I'm hopeful. I think this is going to be really pretty. So let's get to cutting. All right, I cut my sample piece off. Let's see how this goes. I was a little light on the micas, and I probably could have put a little more in there for a deeper color, but I think they're beautiful. Look at that, swirly, and the tops are pretty. So I'm happy with these. I think they're cute. And these are a little short, and so I'm cutting them very thick. I like about 5.5 to 6 ounce bar. Just a nice, big chunky man-sized bar for these. So I wanted to show you how I bevel and stamp my soaps, and what I did was I cut this morning, which is the day after I made it, and I let it sit out for a couple of hours so that the surface dries. This is a relatively hard bar of soap. If this had been a Bastille or a Castile soap with a lot of olive oil, I would probably let it sit for a few days before I beveled, because you don't want it to be soft and gooey. But this is hard enough to do after a couple of hours. The surface is dried on it. So I just bevel the sides like this. And then I choose a side. Now I take this stamp that I got off Etsy. Can't remember the guy's name, but I'll link it in the bottom. Anyway, and I take my rubbing alcohol and I just mist it very lightly, and that helps it not stick on my soap. And position it straight, and I just give a tap and kind of see how it feels. Sometimes it takes 2 taps, sometimes 1 will do. I'll do another, rock it out, and you get a nice clean etching. It's perfect every time. So that's how I do my soaps. So I'll just bevel the rest up and line them up and stamp.